Welcome to Chasing Circa Millions, a season-long journey swimming with the Sharks for a shot at a piece of $6 million. Each week of the NFL season, Dave and Matt will break down the schedule and come up with 5 picks against the spread to enter into the Circa Millions contest. Let's see what the guys come up with this week.
Good evening and welcome to Chasing Circa Millions, Week 11, where me, Dave, and him, Matt, pick 5 games each week to enter into the Circa Million contest, hoping to get a piece of that $6 million prize fund. How's it going this week, Matt?
Good here. Busy week for us. Wasn't loving what I was seeing on the board, but usually when we're not loving what we're seeing, that is hopefully an indication of a good week. So let's hope we can have a good week here.
A lot of the lines that I liked earlier in the week changed on me just recently, and I didn't like that. Yeah, half a point here and there, and I did not like that. Sam, I am. It made it difficult. Anyway, here we go. Last week, little better. Panthers loss. That was on me. I love the Panthers, and they played like crap. Ravens, easy winner. Tampa Bay, surprising loss, I think, at home to New England. New England proved themselves to be a good team. Seattle, easy winner. That was one of your favorites. And both of us, I think, liked the Eagles plus the 2.5, and we got the win there. So 3-2 for the week, 24 and 26 for the season. We moved up 200 places. Long way to go for us, but we'll go from there, right?
Yep, exactly. We'll try to get back to 500, and then from there, then we keep going, right?
Exactly. Can't stop now. Well, we've already given them our money, so I guess we definitely can't stop now. Anyway, here's the point spreads for this week. Like I said, a few of them moved on me, and then a number of them are right on the 7 and 3 numbers this week, which always makes things a little complicated because ties are better than losing, but kind of rough. So it is what it is. Who do you want to kick off this week, Matt?
Okay. Are we not going my top 5 here?
Yeah, I just said, did you want me to kick it off or you to kick it off this week?
Okay. I can't remember who kicked it off last week. Did you or me?
Oh boy. It might have been me.
Okay.
Let's go with you.
Sure. Okay. I have 4 that I'd say were my top 4, and then I have a couple, 2 of them that I'm a little bit have some reservations about. First one, favorite one of the week.
The check mark, circles, and X's. That's your strategy. Okay. First
favorite
one of the
pick of the week is Cleveland plus 7.5. I know the Browns just lost outright last week to the Jets. That sounds like a good time for me to get back on the Browns bandwagon. They're playing at home, which, like I said last week, I think they're a lot better at home than they are on the road. Still have a good defense. I trust them more at home. They got blown out against the Ravens in the first division game. I expect this one to be a little bit closer, and Ravens are also on their 3rd road game. I know that didn't really do me that well with the Patriots the last time I brought that up, but I think it's a long-term thing. So I still like the Browns there in that spot. Catching 7.5. I think that's a good number for them. So I like that as my first pick. Second pick, man, you're gonna hate me, but I'm going back to the Trevor Lawrence Kool-Aid with the Jags. This seems like the perfect time to bet on the Jags. The Chargers just came off a big win at home against the Steelers. The Jags, they just blew a game. You'd think, obviously probably no one wants to be on the Jags, except for me. I want to be on the Jags because they're playing at home. They're catching points. The Jags are the kind of team I want to bet as an underdog, not a favorite. I know that Trevor Lawrence has done us awry in the last few weeks, but or in previous weeks, but this would be the time at home to bet them. It's seems like a decent spot, so I didn't mind them there. Third pick, I liked Minnesota -3, and they minus 2.5. So I like them even better at -2.5. Chicago is a very fraudulent team. I don't think they're very good. They're not what their record indicates. Minnesota, they're not like that great, but they have a good defense and they're at home. And you'd think, look at their records. Oh, why? How are the Bears taking points in this game? Like, oh, what's going on? That's kind of a signal to me that maybe you should bet Minnesota. Think their defense should be able to stymie Caleb Williams, who like I said, I don't really think he's that great, and I don't think the Bears are that great. So, I'll take the divisional home team here with Minnesota, with the 2.5. Fourth one, uh, another one, not exactly ideal, but uh, I'll take the 2.5 with Arizona, or I guess it's the 3. I'll take the 3 with Arizona at home against the 49ers. 49ers are another team that I don't think is as good as their record indicates. And I'll take a division home dog. I think Jacoby Brissett is a little bit better than Kyler's been. They just got blown out last week, so that's kind of a sign maybe I want to take a look at them. I know that the 49ers just got blown out and maybe Brock Purdy's coming back too, but I don't know. I think, divisional home dog, I like them there. Couple other ones, the 2 others where I had my circles. Um, and this would have been my number 1 play, but I'm a little bit concerned about a part of it is Atlanta minus 3.5. I looked at the numbers. It looked like Atlanta was a much better team than the Panthers, by a decent margin. Now, the thing that worried me about Atlanta is they're coming off a international game with no bye, which is a little bit concerning. And then also Carolina, they're much better team as a dog, obviously, than a favorite. But they're not as good away from home as they are at home. So I did like Atlanta, but a little bit concerned coming off the international game. Um, and then another one I really, really liked, and my numbers were saying Detroit +3 against the Eagles. I think Detroit is a much, much, much better team than the Eagles. I guess you're getting 2.5. That's also fine. Detroit +2.5 against the Eagles. I think that they should be a pick 'em or maybe even a favorite in this game. I think they're much better than the Eagles are, and I guess I was just concerned that maybe this would be a very public pick or like a very high consensus pick. But I really did like Detroit. But like I said, I think this would be maybe a high consensus pick. But I'd like to hear your thoughts. There were some games, I had others that I was looking at or sides I leaned on but had bigger concerns. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
Okay, I don't think you're going to like what I have to say,
That's
but
okay.
that's why
This
this
is a
might be.
knowledge shit. This is a safe space.
It is. Okay. Okay, here we go. My top pick of the week, and you're going to love this one. I always like the potential trouble a quarterback change can present in the first week, for sure. And the G-men, they're switching to crab legs. Our boy, Jameis Winston, while Jackson Dart's out with his concussion. The Packers, they've found ways to lose to the Browns and the Panthers, and I love the Giants at 7.5. This is lines at 7, but I'm going to stick with them. I think that having Jameis in there this week is going to be a good boost for the Giants, and I don't think I'd lean on them much past this first week, which will move into my second game that I'm talking about. But anyway, I like the Giants plus the 7. Game 2 I liked on the board is going to go against one of yours, I'm afraid. While I like the quarterback switch initially, which I just said, I think after there's a week or two, there's some tape on the backup quarterback and things often go downhill. And I think that's the case with your boy, Jacoby Brissett. He provided a spark for them early, but I kind of expect the 49ers coaching staff to have a plan against him now. Coming off a loss to the Rams, the Niners, they can't afford to slip up here if they're going to stay in the division/playoff hunt. So I really like the 49ers earlier in the week at 2.5, but at 3, I'm going to have to stick with them there because I think it's just a good spot. Probably a big coaching mismatch on this one. Okay, next one you're going to hate me for. Sorry. The Ravens, they're in playoff mode, right? I don't think they're going to overlook the Browns. They smashed the Browns 41-17 in week 2. The Ravens have won 3 games in a row. They've won by 22, 14, and 8 in those games. And I don't mind laying the 7.5 against Cleveland. Cleveland's lost 5 of their last 6, several of those games by a pretty good margin. I like the Ravens in this game. Here's another stinky nose, grab your nose, but you didn't mention this game. Washington and Miami in Madrid. Here's two teams going in a different direction. The Commanders season came crashing down with the loss of Jaden Daniels, right? They've lost 5 in a row. They're on the down. And despite their awful start, the Dolphins, they're actually putting forth an effort recently. I thought they were going to get their coach fired earlier in the year. Obviously, everybody did, but they've actually played hard the last couple of weeks. That upset of the Bills is impressive, and they may have found their offense in that game. I hate backing teams with a 3-7 record. But they're going against a 3-7 team as well. And I think the Fish are probably worth a play at -2.5. And the last one is another one that we were obviously opposite on. This Jaguar squad is hard for me to figure out, right? Just when they look like they're capable of going on the run, now they've lost three of four, and their playoff hopes are starting to look a little shaky right now. The Chargers, they've averaged 30 points in their last 3 games while allowing just 13. To me, that was pretty impressive. LA is 1 game behind the Broncos, who have a tough game against Kansas City this week. I think Coach Harbaugh probably smells some blood in the Florida water, and they're going to go down there and lay a beating on my boy Trevor Lawrence and his friends. So that was my 5 for the week. I think one of the other ones you mentioned, Vikings, I thought were kind of an interesting pick. I was kind of interested in them, and I also had a lean towards the Lions as well. I'm not sure. I think the Eagles might be a better team, but I think the Lions will be up for this game. I think it'll probably be a really, really close game. Probably a couple of points either way, so I kind of liked your pick on the Lions there for sure. But let me know what you think about my horrible picks.
Yeah. Well, we were the same way on 3 of those, right?
We were
Or
opposite on 3
opposite
of them.
ways on 3 of those, which were
Yeah. San
Jags, Cleveland,
Francisco. Yeah. San
Arizona.
Francisco. Yeah. We were opposite.
Okay. And the Giants I could get behind. I left that one off my board because there is the Jameis uncertainty. I don't know what we're gonna get with Jameis, and similarly, I mean the Packers, they're kind of like on a downward slide, right? I mean, at what point do you kind of like want to buy low on them? I don't know. It's not like the Giants are any good either, but I mean they're not terrible. I don't mind Jameis. I think he's better than Russell Wilson, for
Oh,
sure.
for sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather have Jameis in there than Russell. I just don't really know what I'm getting from the Packers on a week-to-week basis. It's like they look amazing or they look terrible, right? So that was kind of my thought there. The other one, I kind of liked Washington a little bit more than Buffalo, only because, or not Buffalo, than Miami, only because I find it hard to back Miami after they basically had like the biggest win of, their entire season. Similar to how I felt about the Panthers last week after they beat the Packers. They were 9-point dogs and they won outright, right? So I guess that wasn't really a spot where I wanted to back them. And also I feel like in the international games and the primetime games, we don't tend to pick the correct side as much, unfortunately. So I was trying to avoid the internationals and the primetime games, even though I did like Detroit, and that's a primetime game.
We did get a primetime game last Monday night.
We did get that one right, but other ones we have
We're
not gotten
rolling.
right.
We're rolling on the primetime games.
Oh yeah, maybe we have a 1-week streak.
Yes.
And then
Another
I guess
kind of
just going.
interesting, another game we didn't, neither of us touched on, which kind of has this interesting angle, which let's just talk about it for a minute. And that's the Cowboys Raiders game. The Cowboys literally lost a player to suicide, and there's a chance they're playing this game for him, right? I mean, I know that sounds kind of morbid, but oftentimes that has that effect, right? Where something like that, a player loses a child, a player loses a wife, a player passes away, whatever. They really, get together and let's win one for, this week. And I heard a few people talking about that this week, is what kind of effect that'd have on the Cowboys this week, and will it, really consolidate them and put them, looking at winning this game for him or not. But what do you think about that
Yeah,
theory?
I mean, that or not to be a Debbie Downer or insensitive, but it also could be a massive distraction too, right? I mean, I didn't really know like, what to think of that. I did like the Cowboys there, uh, especially because I think the Raiders are not very good, but I guess the Cowboys usually aren't a team I want to back when they're on the road, but it is inside, so that's a little bit different. Um, I like them there, but
You would think
I
that the Cowboys could put up a lot of points on that Raiders defense, right?
you would think that, but then Denver went out and put 10 on them. So I don't really
Yeah,
know, but Denver's not Dallas on offense. I agree with you
right.
there.
Yeah, there's no CD Lamb running for Bo Nix to throw to, right?
Right, right. So I did like Dallas there. I was just it was another primetime game and there was the uncertainty with what was going on during the week as
Right.
well.
Couple
Just
more we
going like
didn't
through
we
some other
didn't talk
games.
to.
What?
Chiefs Broncos.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Chiefs Broncos. I don't really know what to do with that one. I guess I wrote down Denver +4 just because it's 3.5 now. It was 4 when I was writing my notes, but divisional game. Denver has a really good home field advantage, obviously, but and they're on some extended rest. But the Chiefs are off a bye as well. I don't really know what I'm gonna
Yeah.
get.
I don't have Andy Reid's record off a bye, but I know it's
It's
stupid
probably
good.
quite good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's probably quite good.
for sure.
Um,
And Texan
obvious.
Titans.
I was just going in reverse order. Or Texans Titans. I like Houston there. I I really like Houston there, but the Titans are off a bye, and Houston just got this big come from behind win. Like, is it kind of like a letdown spot? And you're also taking a divisional road favorite, and that number's come in even more. It's at now 6, right? So
Yeah. Yeah,
I wrote them down. I like them at 7.5.
it's interesting in that game that yeah, I mean, I'm not getting much belief in the splits anymore. But you do have 40% of the bets, but 68% of the money on the Titans, which is kind of interesting
Yeah. And
for sure.
then we didn't talk about Tampa Bay, Buffalo. I guess I lean Tampa Bay, but I don't know if Buffalo is just going to come out and just be, I mean, they're at home. They might just come out and put a beating on them. I don't really know, right? Like,
Yeah, I that was one game that I just skipped over because I could see some scenario. I can't see the Bucks probably winning that game, but I can see them Baker Mayfielding close, getting back and close enough and getting inside the number, right? But I can
right,
also see the pissed off Bills just lost to the Dolphins, finding their game all of a sudden, right? Because they,
right. And just
you know,
laying something on them. Like,
yeah, I mean, if the Bills were to lose this game outright, they're cooked, right? Especially, I don't know what the score of the Patriots game is right now, but assuming the Patriots are going to beat the Jets, the Bills, this would put them what, 3 games behind the Patriots?
mhm.
So it'd be tough for them, right? We
Yep.
didn't talk about Bengal Steelers either.
Yeah. I like the Steelers in that one, but the Bengals are also off a bye, so don't know what
Yeah,
I'm getting.
yeah, I don't know what I'm
And the
getting. I
Steelers
kind of like,
defense is so inconsistent that it's like hard to
yeah,
figure out.
I kind of like the Bengals in this game myself. But I don't know. I don't trust either side enough to put a pick on them, right?
Yeah. And then
Seahawks Rams.
you know how I feel about Seattle. I mean, they're like a wagon. Both these teams are 7-2 ATS.
Yeah, I know.
So I like Seattle there. I mean, I think they're really, really good, but
But
I don't think I could pick
Stafford,
this one.
Stafford's been on dope, right? Stafford's
Yeah.
just, yeah,
Yeah. So,
be hard to pick against him
yep.
for sure.
Totally agree there. So, okay. And the one you didn't talk about, you didn't talk about Atlanta at all. Did you have any thoughts on that one?
Um, I'm kind of with you. It would be the Falcons or nobody in this game for me, right? Um, the Panthers beat the Falcons 30-0, right? Earlier
Yeah.
this year. So do they do that again, or are the Falcons better now? Are they pissed off about that 30-0? I don't mind the Falcons in that game. I'd be willing to. The Panthers they lost to Seattle, or I mean New Orleans last week, right? They screwed us at home, right? So yeah, I agree with your thinking on the Falcons, and like I said, I I'm not too bad off with your Vikings pick either. It's the Vikings are due to play a good game. I think they may be out of it. It's hard to say. They'd need to string together an awful lot of wins, right? I don't know what the Vikings mindset is right now, but I don't trust the Bears. They're a fake 6-3.
Right. Okay. Well, I think we can write down the Giants. I think we both agreed there, and you know,
Okay.
I'm okay rolling with them. We can cross Cleveland off, or the Cleveland Baltimore game off, as I can't allow us to
Okay.
put Baltimore in there. It's well, not when we're going my number one against one of your top ones. So
Yeah, that's fair enough.
the Giants were your number one, right?
Yes. Yep. And your number 2 was Jacksonville, and that was my number. The Chargers were my number 5. I hate that game at 3, either side of it. It's
Yeah.
just
I think
I don't
maybe we should cross off Arizona and Jacksonville. I mean, those were like my top three, but you're also on the other side of those. So I'd rather take games where we have at least the same lean, you know?
Okay, so that would be the 49ers and Arizona and the Chargers and Jacksonville. So that leaves us on my side Miami and on your side Minnesota, Atlanta, Detroit.
Okay.
I think if I had to rank yours, I'd probably rank them Atlanta, Minnesota, Detroit.
Well, really, I was going to say if there was one I felt like most confident about, at least like knowing I'm taking a good team, it would be Detroit, at least, right? Because, like, I know Detroit's good and they're catching
Yeah,
points.
but that's the dreaded primetime spot you said we should
Well,
avoid, right?
right,
And
right.
the
But you
Eagles
like
are
the prime
the
time
Eagles are
one.
pretty salty at home, right?
Yeah, yeah, right. You know, I just want to check really quickly Carolina's home away splits, just so I'm confirming that what I think is true is true.
Okay. Well, we'll do that. I'll remind all our listeners to go to Substack and look up Cornfield Golfer, and you can get the NFL picks out there. You can get NHL picks, and you can get some other interesting reading there for you too. So it's pretty good stuff out there. Carolina away, three
Two
and
and
two
three
ATS.
away.
I see them as 3-2 ATS away.
Oh, I was just saying their record.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 3-2 ATS, 2-3 overall.
One was against the Jets, though. Like,
Yeah, Atlanta's 2-2 ATS at home. I'm not sure what they are straight up, but I can take a look real fast here. Or maybe not.
all those games that Carolina won, though, they were underdogs in every single one of those games. I'm pretty sure that they won. Maybe not the Jets game, but every other game.
Yeah, Atlanta's 2-2 at home, both at ATS and straight up.
I'd be okay with Atlanta. I
Yep,
don't feel
I'm
insanely
I'm
confident
I'm
on
willing to go
Minnesota. I
there.
just I just don't think the Bears are that good, and but I don't think Minnesota's a good team. I think Atlanta's a better team than Minnesota is.
Really?
And I think the Panthers are a worse winning team than Chicago is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, Atlanta, Chicago, you think?
I'm saying I think that Carolina is certainly worse than Chicago is,
Yes.
and Atlanta is probably better than Minnesota is.
Yeah, I think Minnesota's 1-3 at home this year. That's not like them, right? You would think that
Be better than that,
they're going to be better than that, right?
right? You would think that. Okay, we can
I
do
don't know
Atlanta.
whether I don't know whether yeah, I've already checked Atlanta. I don't know whether
Okay.
Minnesota's thrown in the towel or not. I mean, it's kind of hard to say, right? They have a good defense. They should be able to, figure something out against Caleb Williams and friends, right? You would think. And if they're gonna play a good game, it'd be this one at home, right?
Yep. Okay.
Should I put a check mark by the Minnesota?
Well, let's discuss Miami. Let's just go back to them. I
Hmm.
didn't really have that one, but you really liked it.
Well, I mean, it was my number 4 choice, right?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't. Uh, the Commanders, tell me something good about them. Their quarterback's gone. Scary Terry, he's out. Um, they got what's his name, Merritt, Krosky, whatever, running back.
Corey Krosky, Merritt.
Yeah, he hasn't really impressed me in any way, right? And the
Right.
Dolphins, yeah, I mean, to me, they're trying, right? They've been playing a little better lately, but like I say, it's hard to, take a 3-7 team against a 3-7 team, but that's probably not going to be a game that's highly chosen, right?
No, I wouldn't think it would be at all. It
Yeah.
looks to me like most of the money is on Miami,
Uh-huh.
and that was a somewhat encouraging sign.
I think for some reason we've been really good at taking the same as the consensus picks, which I don't understand that because we've specifically talked about not doing that. Um, I gotta believe the Ravens are going to be one of the consensus picks this week. I gotta believe the Chargers are possibly.
I think the
And
Lions would be.
maybe the Bills. I don't know. People seem to love the Bills. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people, because there's a lot of, I mean, there's not a lot of sharp guys. I mean, there's a lot of sharp guys in this contest, but they're a very small percentage of them, right? So I think your public people are going to be on the Packers. They're going to be like, oh, Packers, Giants are terrible. Packers. Oh, I think, Packers might be a popular
Right.
choice for sure.
Yeah.
The other ones I'm not so sure about which side the public will go on. Probably the Ravens, They love the Ravens. Lions, Eagles. And now there's so many East Coast Eagles backers, fans. I think that game might be a little more evenly chosen than you'd think.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, getting back to the Dolphins, I mean, I like what they've done recently. But yeah, like I say, 3-7 teams, it's tough to swallow. You just kind of have to, bite it and go.
One more thought. I mean, just so or not on any of those games, unless if you want to say something more on those games that we were talking about.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I know I initially said Denver +4, but like I didn't think about that Andy Reid off a bye thing. Like, am I missing something there? Like, maybe we should just be betting the Chiefs like automatically.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's not the worst idea, right?
They certainly need that game.
Yeah, they sure do. Yeah. And the Broncos didn't look like any great shakes last week against the Raiders, right?
They have not looked like any great shakes in like most of their games. They're 5-0 in the division. They're 8-2 overall. But I mean, they beat the Titans, the Bengals, the Jets, the Giants, the Raiders, Texans.
Yeah, they've won 7 in a row.
Right.
And Kansas
No, no.
City,
Oh
who,
yeah, they have
Denver?
won 7 in a row. Yeah, shit. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've won 7 in a row. But, if Kansas City loses this game, they might be cooked, right?
What are they in the
Uh,
division? What's
that would put them 4 games behind Denver in the division. And if the
they're 1-3
Chargers,
in the division? Is that right?
yep, no, in the division, Kansas City, they're 1-1. They're 2-3 in the
Why does it say
conference.
1-3 away? Oh, they're 1-3 in away games. Okay,
Right.
that's why.
Yeah. 1-3 on the road. But, let's just say the Chargers are able to knock off the Jags, right? And if Kansas City loses that game, they'd be 3 behind the Chargers and 4 behind Denver. They'd be cooked, right?
I'd certainly be okay with throwing Kansas City in there. I know that's not one that we mentioned before, but I kind of didn't really consider that off of. I forgot that they're like Andy Reid's like crazy good off a bye. I
Yep.
completely forgot about that until you
And
mentioned it.
I'm willing to support them.
Okay,
Yep. So we
I'm
got the
willing to
Giants,
support them too.
KC, Minnesota, Atlanta.
We're doing Minnesota.
Yes. I think we agreed on that, right?
Yeah. Should we do not to discount your Miami pick, but should we do Detroit since we at least both agree on them?
No. I
No?
I don't like it that well.
Okay.
I mean, I can see a lot of scenarios where the Eagles win that game too, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's Jared Goff outside, so you never really know exactly what you're
Right. Exactly. For sure. And Detroit, they've they lost to Minnesota,
Right.
and Kansas City, which is, not a good win for them, right? Or not a
Right.
good loss for them. I mean, yeah, they hung a lot of points on Washington, but, I think a lot of teams are gonna do that, right? They got some, you know, they got some good wins and some not so great wins, and they got a couple of bad losses, right? I mean, um, I don't think I can go with that. I'll let
Okay.
you
Fair enough.
I'll let you, rip me on it if it goes the Lions' way.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Well,
I
I guess
I was think
looking
I
at
was
these,
thinking
the
about trying to
only
talk you in I was thinking about trying to talk you into the Texans, but 40% of the bets, 8% of the money's on Tennessee. So, I'm not loving that as much as I did.
I was gonna say maybe we should discuss either Dallas, Cincinnati, or Miami.
You like the Steelers.
Kind of, but not like really. Like,
Yeah, I don't love that game either. I think I'd probably have more faith in the Bengals Steelers game. That could go a whole lot of ways.
right. I mean, it's just like a kind of a crapshoot. I mean, I feel like the Steelers should be like 2.5 or like 3.5, but they're like 5.5. So it's like they must be 5.5 for a reason, right? Like, and
They're
talk
the
about a
only
team that
yeah,
needs a game. They need that game bad.
right. But I think that, and I'll give you this point on the other side. I think the Bengals are playing hard because they can see Joe Burrow in their near future, right? He's supposed to come back in
Right.
2 weeks.
Right.
So they're playing pretty hard. They for some reason think that they've still got hope.
They don't have
So
hope, but they should have been tanking, but
yeah, but they they're only 2 games behind Pittsburgh, right?
right.
So I mean, if by some miracle, and I could see this happening, it's only a 5.5 point spread. If by some miracle they were able to beat Pittsburgh, they'd only be 1 game out of first with Joe Burrow coming back soon, right?
Right. Right.
So I mean, they're going to play hard for sure.
Yep. Totally. No, I see that.
But you know, then again, you don't know with the Steelers if Aaron Rodgers
Right. The
has
Steelers beat the
one of his
Colts
rare
outright,
good.
so
Yeah, if he has one of his rare good days, then they could beat anybody, right? So, um, kind of a tough one there.
and
I don't.
Dallas, the Raiders aren't good by any means.
No, the Raiders aren't good, and the Cowboys aren't really good, but they got a pretty damn good offense, right?
That's right. And now I guess I'm gonna look now, but what's the most points the Raiders have put up in a game this year? 24?
I can tell you that real quick. Let's see. They put up 20,
13,
24 twice in a loss,
put up 29 against the Jaguars. So can Dallas put up 35 on?
put 0 up against Kansas City, and of course only
Well,
7
Kansas City
against
has a good
Denver, but
defense.
yeah, and Denver has a good defense, so but, would you compare Jacksonville and Dallas? Who would you take on a neutral field in that game? Jacksonville, Dallas.
Jacksonville, Dallas, who would I take on a neutral?
Yes.
Oh God. I guess you would probably say you'd probably have Jacksonville favored, I would imagine. Not by much. It'd probably be a pick to me. That's like a pick to me. Because Dallas's offense is so good, but their defense is so bad.
Yeah. So against bad defenses, the Raiders put up 24 against Washington. Chicago's defense not good. They put 24 up against Chicago. They only put 10 up against Tennessee. That's disappointing.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
bad.
29 against Jacksonville.
No, they put up
Yeah.
20 against
So
the Titans because they won that game.
sorry, you're right. They won that game. Yeah, 20. So yeah, they're capable of putting up some points for sure against bad defenses, the Raiders. But can they keep up with Dallas, right? They've given up 30, 31,
What's the
40.
total on that game? The total's 50.5.
Yeah.
So certainly you'd
That
think
it's
that Dallas is
it's
going to score a lot.
well, you'd think they're both going to score a lot. That's what they're telling you, right? Because the
Right.
Cowboys defense I mean, that Bland guy they have playing cornerback might as well have you or I
He's
out
bad.
there.
Yeah.
He's bad. But the Raiders, other than Bowers, what weapons do they have?
Well, I have Genty. He's fine, but They can't really get him
but I
going for
mean,
one
for
reason or another.
receivers, yeah,
Trey Tucker.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should go with Miami then. I'm okay with Miami.
Okay, I'm
Unless if
obviously
you want to
okay with
take a
them.
ride on this Seattle train, which it doesn't seem like you want to take a ride on the Seattle train.
No, no more than you want to take a ride on the Jim Harbaugh Express.
No. I've been on the Seattle train for like 2 years now, so
I know.
this is my second season of being on them.
I wouldn't mind having a ticket on Seattle to make the Super Bowl.
I was gonna say
I mean,
I would be ecstatic if I had a ticket on Seattle to win the NFC.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That would be a nice ticket to have.
yeah, I'm
I
sure
think they were
it's
probably third favorite in their division too, maybe even fourth.
yeah at the start of the year. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure, but I don't know what them to win the NFC is right now. But it's got to be under 10-1, right?
for Seattle to win the NFC, like to go to the
Right,
Super Bowl.
right.
Oh, to go to the Super Bowl? No, I bet that's like 20-1.
You think?
What's their record? Is it something in 3? Something in 2?
I was just looking at futures.
Seattle's 7-2. Man, they might be up there.
Yeah, Prince winner. Here we
Let's
go.
see.
Seattle plus 425. Yeah, that's not enough
Wow.
value.
Okay. Yeah, no, you need more than that.
They're the fourth choice. Rams, Eagles, Lions, Seahawks.
They're the fourth choice and they're only 4-1.
Yep.
All right. Interesting. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
at least we came to a decision here.
Yeah, I mean, as usual, I'm more than happy with our picks. I'm not going to go to sleep tonight thinking, why did we pick them? I think we're in agreement, right?
And if
Giants.
anything changes on these lines tomorrow, we can always do a quick revisit.
Yeah. Giants, Kansas City, Minnesota, Atlanta, Miami.
All right.
We got a few crappers in there, but that'll be okay.
Yeah. You didn't want the biggest crapper of them all, Cleveland, so.
No, you didn't. What was another crapper I had? Yeah, you're right. I didn't have too many crappers in there.
Yeah.
The only one
It
I
was
was
only
really
me that was taking the crappy teams.
the only one I really I hated that Cleveland pick, right? But yeah, I really mostly hated the Jacksonville pick because
You don't want to bet on Trevor Lawrence anymore.
Right, I don't, and I really like the Chargers this week. So anyway, that's it for Circa Millions, Chasing Circa Millions, week 11 for this week, and we'll catch everybody next week.
We'll be back.
Welcome to Chasing Circa Millions, a season-long journey swimming with the sharks for a shot at a piece of $6 million. Each week of the NFL season, Dave and Matt will break down the schedule and come up with 5 picks against the spread to enter into the Circa Millions contest. Let's see what the guys come up with this week.